Hi everybody. So obviously big news in the artificial intelligence coding space dropped yesterday with the release of GPT-o1. For the last month or two, the golden standard of programming with AI has been using the Cursor IDE with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This has even given way to some memes where people are simply saying that a founder can now just use Cursor and be replacing his whole team and get technical quickly. But OpenAI claims that 4.0 is just that much better at reasoning. So they have released something called chain of thought. Chain of thought means that O1 goes into the problem, that what you're asking it, and tries to deconstruct the problem a little bit in a way similar that the human brain would. This means that if you ask it a question, it will do a series of steps to solve the problem, and it will reason about each step separately. It will go back and give itself feedback, trying to improve on each step. Obviously, all of this is closed source, and I'm a much bigger fan of open source technology, but understanding the golden standard of our profession is something that I think is always important. So I wanted to make a quick update on using Cursor with O1, since I found that it is actually available already in Cursor to the paid tier, so you need to have an actual paid subscription for this. And the first thing I can tell you is that it is longer to process. So obviously there is a lot more processing going on the AI part. You can see it think for at least a good 30 seconds before it gives you a result. And I wanted to review a little bit these results together. First, let me go through this specific file. So this file is essentially taking a bunch of search results that I receive in JSON format from the Brave Search API. It does a few things like parsing the date. It tries to make sure that we keep the most reliable search results by just making sure that the date is reliable so that it's not, like a misconstructed date. And then it processes them, reformatting the big JSON file that we receive and just sorts them by the most recent. So the goal of this code is essentially to get a search query. For example, is green tea healthy? Get all the big JSON and format it in a way that I can send to a large language model to summarize the search. I'll have a link to the repo in the description. This is for a hackathon project I did. So my code that you see here is tested. It's working currently. And the query that I asked O1, I asked the O1 preview model, which is for now the mid-level. We don't have access to the full big O1, and there are even rumors that OpenAI would charge $2,000 a month for it. Obviously, these are just rumors. It's something we don't know. And something that language models failed to do is some advanced refactoring. So Claude is really good. 3.5 really hits good levels if you know how to prompt it well. But here I wanted to say, take this code in process search results.ts and reformat it in a functional programming style to avoid mutation and using constants. This takes more steps to think about because you need to understand the actual output of the code and keep it working. And that took around 30 seconds to run. So this is something that I think is reliably expectable with this model. You will see that it is, for now, because it's all in preview, it's not quick. But the results so far, I'm pretty happy. And as I'm scanning, you can see a lot of these functions are indeed following functional style. So in functional programming, you try to avoid mutations. You don't want to modify the data. So instead, you will create new arrays, new variables to hold the data as you go through your functions one by one. It's kind of like a pipeline. So data in, data out. You try to just create new data instead of transforming the actual one. So isValidDate is a pattern I would see a lot in functional programming. And here, if I look at this parse date, I like that we get, we get the date, then we get here the mapping and the find, and we don't get any mutation, so this is valid. The same thing in extract reliable date. It kept also all of the types, which I really appreciate. Comments are quite good. Here it's not mutating any data. It's using a lot of the functional programming JavaScript toolset like mapping, find. I'm not seeing any reduce yet. Maybe we'll find so. Oh, and this is interesting. So as you see here, this is the BFS function, process search results. It's using a map. So a map is a really good data model if you want to avoid mutations. So this is nice. And it's using the .map methods, .sort. Here it's slicing, but it is returning a new array at the end of it. So yeah, I would say all of all, using preview in O1 is really great. And as you would be able to do, you can just apply and boom, you have the result of O1. And what I like about also O1 in general is that it's producing a little bit less code as Claude 3.5, which to me is always something I look for. I look code that works, is straight to the point, and is not too verbose, so there's not too many lines for it. And I really appreciate because we are going down from maybe before this, there was 110 lines, and after we're done, we're back at almost the same thing. But the code is super readable, super easy to think about. Yeah, so far O1 is pretty great. I don't see it taking over our jobs anytime soon. This still needs to be paired with great retrieval augmented generation, like in Cursor, to do a good job, and you're still in the driver's seat. But there were talks of it being used with Devin. I've been using Devin for a little bit, and so far I haven't been super impressed with the results. But with a much better model, I think this could get somewhere. So maybe we'll do a follow-up where we try O1 with Devin when that becomes available. So have a great day, everybody.